So we had to ensure we made everything smaller so you can see the Christmas spirit and feel it, of course, as we welcome you to the Christmas edition of Soul Sessions with Michelle and Narda. So welcome. And
Welcome.
Michelle,
And I'm Narda.
it's a pleasure to have you. Let's get things going with our downloads for today. Narda, what's on your heart and mind today?
It's piggybacking off of our experience for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Gratitude and joy.
Yes.
Gratitude, joy, lighthearted childness, like that's the being in a childlikeness energy, and that's focusing on gratitude. There was so many opportunities spending time in the past 2 weeks together that we had to like pause and let's really bask and pause and feel grateful for. And that is my download, is basically talking about the simplicity but the profound energy of gratitude, being in a like heartedness of play. So
Yes.
that's my
Yes.
download.
And for me, it's being in the flow, just allowing the is to is, allowing
Yes.
things to happen and understanding, as again, we talk about gratitude and joy, taking that with you regardless of whatever you see with your eyes.
Yes.
Ensure that you're feeling gratitude and joy within, no matter what is taking place around you.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is important to always stay in the high vibrational energy of joy.
Yes.
It's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes
Mhm.
a lot of practice, but the more you practice, the easier it's going to come for you.
Right.
It's like weightlifting.
Yes.
Lifting a heavy weight, if you're a newbie, it's going to be difficult. But so long as you understand the technique of how to do it and you're in consistent practice of doing it, it becomes easy. And I think it's the same when it comes to staying in that high vibrational energy of joy. So I
Yeah.
agree with you, that childlike way that we got to express over the last few weeks of spending time
Yes.
with each other, road tripping, I would say,
Yeah.
or traveling rather. But we've been up
Yeah.
and down and really enjoying ourselves completely. And I'm happy that despite all that's taking place in terms of the pandemic, we were
Yes.
able to do all of that and stay
Yes.
safe, which is so very important.
Yes. 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 It
That's
was
my
such a
son,
we
Brandon,
were wanting. I guess
making an
parents is
appearance.
wanting to make
Yes,
himself known.
he is here.
Beautiful little Brandon, such an indigo crystal, amazing baby. Him,
Yeah.
his energy, and we're talking about the childlike nature, and he's trying to show
And
himself.
here he comes.
Yes.
Yeah. The and I think that too is an example
Yeah.
of staying in that childlike way, because I think as
Yeah.
adults we
Yeah.
would hear or see someone in a room and we
Yeah.
think, okay, we can't enter that room. But as
Right.
a child, you're just focused on receiving what you need to
Right.
receive at that point in time. And
Right.
maybe that's what we need to do, get rid of all of the barriers that life has given
Right.
us and be able to giggle and run up and
Yes.
down no matter what. No
Yes.
matter what.
But that was a complete theme for all those who are watching and all those who are listening. It was the
Yes.
theme of the past 2 weeks when we spent time together. From the very first instance of seeing each other physically to Disney to all of that was just a lot of
Yes.
laughter, a lot of
Right.
lightheartedness, which we are both very much lighthearted and very much
Yes.
humorous people. So it was a collective effort of just joy and being
Yes.
around some lovely souls. Shout out to Chef Saga Joe, Auntie Debbie.
Listen to me. Listen, talk about laugh your belly full and eat your belly
Yes,
full too. That
yes, yeah,
is a perfect combination.
yeah, yeah.
But as also we're focusing on that, as you mentioned briefly, seeing each other first time, but it's not the first time we
No,
saw each other in the flesh. It's just the
yeah.
first time after a very long
two
time that we
years,
had
yeah,
the opportunity to connect. Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Yes,
Wow. 2 years, yes.
it's so interesting. Even as Brandon is trying to make his way onto the stage, but it's just so incredible. Like as we review the time that we spent together and the miraculous events of the trip and even the lighthearted natures and the wisdom shared and the experiences that we had. For me, I must say this off the bat, what I observed from you and the other authors like Natalie, like the experiences that you both had together. It's like
Right.
without naming the experience that you guys were milking events for as much joy, as much gratitude, as much
Yes.
laughter as possible. And to be honest, that helped me out a lot because being in New
Really.
York, I could be quite isolated in my own little space with my,
Yes.
and having people to share this amazing
Mm.
energy that I love and that I support. It was such a joy. It was a complete joy. And then that built, we built it from there and just went on
Yes.
and we sailed that beautiful energy into Florida and Disney and a lot of beautiful experiences that happened. And I'm coming back as both of us are quite tired. We're like integrating, our kids are like Brandon. It is
Yes.
in the background. Yes, right. Yeah, so coming back to like the what we talk about, the childlike nature, the joy, the peace, the ease of lightheartedness. There was nothing that we made a problem. No, Michelle and I are just the same. We don't make anything a problem. We try to see what is trying to emerge out of the situation. We're trying to see what are the lessons possible. But even that, we were like milking the joyous experiences. We were just milking
As you should.
and having so much fun. And,
Yes.
you know, I said to a sweet friend of mine just yesterday, I said to him that, I always knew Michelle was hilarious. I always knew that she was lighthearted because, that's the kind of clients and beautiful people that I draw to me. But
Yes.
spending the time together, it solidify, we have done so much work together over the years. We have done
Yes.
Skype and in person and all of that. So I knew you as, but that sister connection, that beautiful bond that we solidify in this past 2 weeks,
Yes.
we are just the same in terms of talking as much crap as possible,
Too much
hilarious.
so.
We saw those sides of each other, and it
Yes.
was such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And even in sharing this, I know a lot of the backstories we won't share because it's kind of like sacred for us, but it's like to let people know the light-hearted nature, the laughter, coming back to
Yes.
what we talk about. If you want to be enlightened, lighten up. You know,
Correct is right.
milk the joyous experiences. There were opportunities that we had that we literally had to sit and say, come on, let's just bask in this right now.
Yes.
Because it's those moments that show up like, how did that happen? How did that happen? Like, okay, we can't even mentally put some sort of meaning to it, and had to literally bask in it. And those are the
Yes.
opportunities, despite how big or how small, try to like milk it because the energy and the pocket of magic is right here, right now. It's not as though it's gonna come in 10 minutes. 10 minutes is gonna feel differently. Now you're gonna be grateful, but not as that deep passionate gratitude that you will feel in the moment of when it
Yes.
occurred or you realized it. So that is my download. I'm so passionate and excited about it. That's why I'm sharing.
Yes. And I'm happy that you are saying milk it because if
Yes,
you're not milking it, it's milking you.
yes, yeah.
Right. And the other thing in terms of joy, it's about understanding. It's not so much what is happening around you, it's about what's happening within you. Because
Right.
if you were to react based on everything you see happening around you,
Mm,
you're going to
yeah,
be very unstable. So
yes,
the important thing is to center yourself, wake up in the morning, claim that joy, say to yourself that, hey, great is this day.
yeah.
I say to this day, it shall be great, and great it shall be. And holding on to that very firmly. Another thing that I know you and I spoke a lot about, and I was saying to you as we were standing in, I think it was a 70, could have been 90-minute line or more, waiting for one of the rides at Disney.
Yes.
And I said, Narda, the amazing thing is we're not going to remember the pain our feet
Oh,
feel in the line. We're going to remember the
that's
joy that
true.
we feel when we
Yes,
ride the ride.
yes,
And that is the thing with life. If you think right
yes.
now of a situation that you would have had at some point in time in your life, you would realize that
Hmm,
you really hold on to the joy from it because I
right.
believe the essence of all of us, it's good, it's light,
Yeah.
and that is what we return to when we close our eyes to
Hmm,
this earthly realm. We
right.
return to that love, that peace, that joy, that
Wow.
light, and what we really take with us. I think,
Hmm,
even when I think of funerals, for example, when I was younger, it would be a peeve of mine knowing how someone would have lived their
yeah.
lives. And then you hear a eulogy, and oh, everything is good, it's the best person who would have
Right.
ever lived. But as I am able to look at it now from a different angle with a different perspective, I think it's because at a funeral, what we really get is all that really matters.
Right.
Not the
Right.
wrong that you would have done yesterday.
Right.
It is all of the good that
Hmm.
you would have encompassed within this
Right.
period that we call life. That is what really
Hmm.
matters. And to have more of what really matters, we need to do more of what really matters.
Right.
Do the things that will inspire us and will help us as well inspire others.
Mm.
And I think it's so important that, as the theme that we were talking about with the downloads, and it's something we kept saying as we were getting ready for our trip, it's about keeping that childlike nature, letting the
Yes.
inner child come out to play.
Mm-hmm.
Not sometimes, but always. Yes, there's
Yeah.
sometimes we have to be a little serious, but seriously,
Yes.
seriously enjoy each and every moment.
Yeah.
Present truly is a gift. And
Yeah.
that's why it's called a present. That now,
Hmm.
that present moment, enjoy it to the full.
Yes. Yes. And I must joke about this one. I've been rebuked a few times by Michelle.
Yeah, no, you have to. You have to.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. When I say that Michelle has a gift with words, it's
Yes,
not a joke. It's something I sense spiritually deeply for her. But in this trip, it was solidified that Michelle do have a tremendous gift with words. Now, you know how sometimes you say, "Oh, you're such a fool," "Oh, you're being such a clown." I've
not
been
even
rebuked by
in
Michelle
joke.
a few times on the trip. I rebuked that in the name of Jesus.
And
But it's such
you
a
probably thought I was playing at
no,
first,
no,
but
but
then
it's
when you got
true.
a full dose of it, yeah.
It's
You see, we're
the
always
essence of what you're
creating.
saying.
And
And
what people
it
don't
slipped through the crack,
realize.
like we just
Yeah.
in this light-hearted manner, but still, like
Yes.
it was such a joy. Even like we joke
Mhm.
about it, but it was
Yes.
such a joy. I just had to slip that in. But one thing that was coming up as you were
Mhm.
speaking, Michelle, is the fact that
Right.
you know, really something I've been saying since I was a teenager that I want the last day of my life to know that I'm ticking off. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I accomplished. Yes, I lived fully. Yes, I lived from my heart. Yes, this. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. And I think as we're wrapping up, going into the new year, it's Christmas in a few days, but still, like we're still in the energy of the ending. It's like, yes, as reminding everybody and my
Yes.
jiggly earrings.
Yeah. I had to match you because you have the Christmas tree and I had to light up the tree.
You gotta light the tree, right?
Yay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, what do you want your legacy to be like? What do
Yes.
you want to leave behind? What do you want to say, even in yourself, as if you were to have that opportunity to review your life, even if you're in this lifetime or you cross over into the light? What do you want to review? Did you do it? Yes, 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 yes. Oh no, oh no, I let someone else have the opinion of my life. I followed my parents, I followed this person, I followed my ex-husband, no, taking charge. So I just
Yes.
have to say that, like, what do you want your legacy to be like? Even and
Yes.
think about it. We're gonna do another show next week, before would we have
Correct.
yeah, New Year's, right? So we'll have one more
Yes.
show before the end of the year, but
That's
just wanna
correct.
sow that seed.
You said, what are you leaving behind? And something just hit me beautifully. And it is, are we really leaving something behind or are we pushing something forward? Are we carrying
Mm.
something
Yeah,
forward?
yeah.
Because it's into the next generation, it's
Right,
into the future,
right.
right? So we thinking of behind, but really we're moving forward.
And
We're
that's the
sending us
multidimensionality of it. There's no direction, right? There's no wrong
yeah,
or right.
it's just yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
no.
I yeah, no time, no it's all an illusion really when you
Yes,
think
yes,
of it.
yes,
And it's so important. I also want to stress on the importance of words, as you mentioned words, and we were laughing about rebuking in the name of Jesus. You know why that is so important? You know how we use the phrase serious joke?
hmm.
Even in joking, we're serious. Even in joking,
Even more
especially
so.
joking,
Yeah,
especially in joking, our
yeah.
words even have more power because we're in the high vibrational
It's
energy
more
of joy.
suggestive.
So
Hmm.
while you're joking and you're saying things, there's no loose tongue that should be stated.
Exactly.
Very often we have the habit of making fun and making fun using serious words. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, it is our duty to ourselves, it is our duty to those
Yes.
around us to use the right words always in each
Yes.
and every situation,
Yes.
not even in joke,
Yeah.
especially in joke,
Especially.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's when we're being divine alchemists. That's when we are
Yes.
really tuning into the power of creativity. And we were joking about a lot of things. And I know with the power of manifestation, that's why so many things were coming
Yes.
for us on the trip, inclusive of being able to manifest a 4 bedroom.
4 bedroom jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the hotel that we were staying in, and we were making joke. We were saying, imagine if, and then we just
Yes.
imagine if, and we
Yeah.
saw things happening.
Yeah.
Even before we got the extra day for Disney. Do you remember
Yes.
when we were joking? And I
Yes.
said, imagine if, wouldn't it be good if we got a second
Yes.
day for Disney? You
Yes.
remember when we had
Yes.
that conversation? And
Yes.
then it came. Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
great if we got to stay until fireworks? We were supposed to leave earlier and we stayed until
Yes.
fireworks.
Yes. 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 Yeah. So
So even in joke.
even in joke, and from the reason why it stood out so much for me, Michelle, I know I got rebuked probably like over 5 times, but it's like it's jokingly. I joked about it,
But you
but no,
cut
for
on
real.
quickly.
It
Yes.
Thinking about it from a hypnotherapy standpoint, from a hypnosis
Mhm.
standpoint, from a suggestive hypnotic standpoint, it's when
Yes.
you're most lighthearted, it's when you're
Yes.
most suggestible, it's when you're
Yes.
most programmable, right? So that's
Correct.
why music are quite programming, movies are programming.
Wow.
These
Mhm.
different art, different things that could bring you lightheartedness, that's the easiest way to be
Yes.
programmed. So that's why I tell people, be very mindful, very, very mindful about what you listen to, the background. There's subliminal
Yes.
messages. I
Yes.
was explaining to you guys in Florida, it's like behind, even on a TV screen, marketing, there's subliminal
Mhm.
messages that goes across the screen fast, 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 so much that you don't even
Yes.
see it. So, you would think that these things are illegal, but behind the scenes, it's allowed. Even like you can't, the eyes cannot catch it, but when you slow it down, you see like, oh, yummy, delicious. I want KFC. I want did it. So there's things like
Yes.
that. You see when it really slow it down, you would see like it's flashing, flashing, flashing.
Correct.
So
Yes.
the lightheartedness, that's the when you're most suggestible. Like even when a client do soul hypnosis sessions with me,
Right.
I tell them, be as lighthearted as possible, let go, relax. That is when they are most open to allow their soul to come through to deliver the information. When you're tensed, you restrict like a pipeline, you squeeze it so the information is not flowing easily.
Yes.
So
Yes.
even in lighthearted moments, that's when
Correct.
coming back for the rest of the world in Trinidad, we have almost everybody has a nickname, right? So you slip up once in your life, you got a nickname for the rest of your life, right? So
Yes.
even like something like calling somebody stinky or calling big head or whatever, you
I
want
don't
to
allow stuff like
understand
that.
how
Mhm.
that is so much connected to the person for the rest of their life. Or fatso, or calling somebody, when I say fatso for the rest of the world, fat and so meaning that you're so fat. So calling
Yes.
somebody fatso,
But so
and the person may have just been a chubby kid, as most of us have been,
yes.
and we're just processing their body weight accordingly and evening out. And there's medical reasons for all of those things, nothing serious. There's a natural flow of a child's development, and a nickname is stuck onto you. And the programming that person feels, that person always is aware of what they're eating, or am I look ugly, and da 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 da.
Correct.
So
Correct.
explain. That's why it stood out for me so much, Michelle, is when you said it, is like, that is so
Mhm.
true. And again, the
Yes.
queen of words. I call you the queen of words because you
Oh,
understand it. No, seriously, you understand the dynamic on the spiritual
oh, well, let
level.
me record that part.
The
Say it
queen of
again.
words. Oh, the ego is not brushed, huh?
Oh,
No. Let me do a little
oh,
jiggle for that.
my head could still fit on the screen.
The jiggle. All my earrings and everything. Yeah, so it's such a beautiful thing to share time, to share energy, to share
Yes.
conversations with. And as I said, Chef Saga Joe, Auntie Debbie was all in that. It
Yes.
was such a
Yes.
beautiful thing. She was all part and parcel of the entire experience. And, I must say, people, we ate really well.
Oh,
Auntie
we did.
Debbie is a culinary genius.
Yes.
And so it was so delicious. and just sharing that beautiful time and space. And it's so important to
Correct.
have at least one person in your life that you can be like that with. So if
Yes.
you don't have somebody, set the intention and ask God to bring you somebody who's like-minded and like-hearted, that you can have that conversation, or share time
Yes.
and space like that with.
Yes.
You can be all yourself, even the
Yes.
cookie side.
I want to stress on that we ate very well. You know you ate very well when you have meat and something you can't pronounce at the end of it. So it's like steak. Beef.
And Michelle was quite good with her French, I must say. Michelle was quite good with French. The French may not understand it, but Michelle is quite good with her French.
But
Yes.
as you were saying, in terms of hypnotherapy and so forth, it
Yeah.
is when someone is lighthearted, they're most open to receiving. And
Yeah.
you see how everything more or less connects?
Very much
Because
so.
as a marketer and also someone who's been in sales, what I do when I'm training my students, I always say to them, if I'm training a sales team, I mention to them, remember always people buy from who they like.
Yes.
And for them to like you have to ensure
Mhm.
that they're lighthearted and your focus needs to be on them.
Right.
And again, as we were speaking about Disney, you remember when we were on a particular ride and we were going, and I said, look at this, look at the symbolization, look at the
Yes.
messages
Yes.
that they're
Yes.
giving
Yes.
to
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
From the very first ride, I
Yes.
remember we're on a ride and still having these deep convos.
Yes.
We're on
Yes.
a ride, and I'm like, listen to what they're saying at the end. Look at
Yes.
this. Disney is a
Yes.
great place for being able to manifest because you are in that light-hearted
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
And so long as you can push through how tired you might feel, how much walking you can do or have
Yes.
to do, push through that, and you would really enjoy the experience to the fullest. And
Yes.
all you'll take with you, just as it happens when you're ready to leave this earthly realm, all you'll take with you is the
Uh,
light.
I think even you just saying that, Michelle, there's so much we can expand on in terms of it, because
Oh, definitely.
really the soul really seeks to have exhilaration, ease, peace,
Yes.
joy, gratitude. Tell
Yes.
me, the moments that you do feel and you do remember is when the breeze hits you perfectly on your face. When you
Correct.
feel like, there's something called anchors in hypnosis, right? And an
Yes.
imprint, if you want to say it, an imprint. When the sometimes you smell a particular perfume, or there's a sun that's
Mhm.
gleaming on your face in a particular way, and it takes you
Yes.
right back to a time when you felt it, and you how you snapped it into place was gratitude. How you
Yes.
snapped it, and sometimes there's a negative side where it was like, for me, there's a particular perfume that I smell. When I smell
Mm.
it, it takes me back to my mom's funeral when I was 8.
Oh, God.
So it's like there's an imprint and a negative, but let's focus on the positive side. When it takes you right back to that memory. Life is
Mm.
about creating memories. Life
Yes.
is about creating joyous memories. Life is
Mm.
about having those experiences. And it's not only just the positive one, it's also the negative, because I do feel the
Mhm.
soul wants to experience both. But
Mhm.
the one that we joyously seek is the ones that is the snapshots of that positive, and it's imprinted and it snaps into place with gratitude, with joy, with laughter. And something I always say is like, God have to be very hilarious,
Oh,
funny. One of the
yes.
qualities of the
Definitely.
creator is
Definitely.
funny, being funny. So it's
Yes.
like the lighthearted, the humor. If you find that you're too tense, like you don't understand, you seek within yourself about why are you so tense. Go deeper. That is not just a personality trait. A lot of people glorify being and serious faced or not joking and all of that.
They
Go
believe it
deeper.
makes them
Yeah, it's a character. They think that it no, if you're not lighthearted, and if you're there's blocks within yourself, your energy system, blocks in your heart, blocks in your mind. Why are you
correct.
blocked? Was it that you were very playful kid and you were reprimanded for that, and you were and you just serious and you never smile?
Yes.
So coming back to the light-hearted nature, let's make it 2021 moving into 2022 is, and I'm still in 2020, right, by the way, my person. So
Yes.
if you're like, seek within, go within yourself. No one else can do it for you. Like, do the inner work, dive deeper within you. Like, why are you so dense? What is blocking you? And you are
I
your only block,
I
because
think people fear as well others taking advantage of them. But
yeah,
when you really push through that, you'll realize no one can ever truly
no,
take advantage of you. So when
someone
you
who wants work.
reclaim your power, you may perceive it as someone taking advantage of you.
Hmm.
But if you really challenge your perception, you'll be able to realize that you can hold on to that power.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one ever does anything onto you, they do it onto themselves.
And also without your permission. Like
Hmm.
I can think about an experience in my own life where I felt
Yes.
powerless, but I had no idea. I didn't have the perspective or the knowledge that I was the one handing over my power.
Yes.
So how often, and to know that you're not the same version that you were back then or yesterday
Correct.
or 2 years ago or 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you are a different person. And you have had all these experiences, and to this point you are more evolved than you were all those times ago. If it's just yesterday, you're wiser. You know how to handle yourself. So you're not frozen in that time anymore. You only a memory and you have holding yourself frozen there. Your mind is freezing you there, but you have evolved. So in the same thing, no one can really do to us what we are, unless we allow it. So
Correct.
yeah.
You have to accept for
Mhm.
it to really be committed onto you.
Yes.
It's like the same thing again. That joy, I think, is our favorite word on this session.
Yes.
Joy. And because it's so important to keep your joy is your strength. And
Yes.
as we think about joy, someone needs our permission for us to give that up. You
Hmm.
can't control what's happening outside
Yeah.
of you, but
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
you, you have the power. So
Yeah.
hold on to your joy regardless.
And it's so easy for your joy to slip away. That's pointers right there and clues to what you need to work on.
Yes,
If it's like your patience level, you need to learn to be more patient. If it's that you're giving away your attention so quickly to other people about what's their opinion about you, it's like, oh, you're gonna need to learn to not care about other people's
yes,
opinions. So, and go back to your childhood. I'll tell you, I keep preaching this childhood thing, but go back to your childhood because the root of it is often there. Childhood, back into their mother's womb. Sometimes there's past life. Hence the work that I do in hypnosis. But you have the power to go back there and to reframe some things and to pull some positive meaning from it, and let's dissolve that energy or that charge, that negative charge it once had. So we're the powerful ones.
very much so. I agree with that fully. There is power within you. And with that, I think it is now time for us to get right into some soul
Mm.
spection. So let's do that and get into some soul spection at this time as we get ready for hot work coming up right up. All right, so it's time now for soul spection, and I have this coming from my upcoming collection of poetry, which is titled Soulfully Yours. And this piece is called Free. You are free now, bars mean nothing, for within you is a greater something. Some walk freely but are mentally enslaved. Some are imprisoned by what they crave. There are those who allow words to hold them back, and the visionless focus only on what they lack. They act according to how they are told to be. Yet on lockdown, there's a man who is free. Did that one some time ago. That was since 2014. But
Mm.
whew, we're getting ready now. That was Soul Spection, and it should move us right into some hard work. Are you ready for that?
Yes. Yeah. So as we were talking a little while ago about anchors, about imprints, those are terminologies used in the realm of hypnosis and stuff. So when we think about it, there are negative things that are anchored, or true words, as Michelle we were talking about, jokingly talking about the rebuke you in the name of Jesus. But really, what are we anchoring in ourselves? Like what are we imprinting within ourselves? What
Mhm.
opinion of another person, opinion that we may have of ourselves? And I'm looking in a direction of gratitude and experiences. It doesn't have to be something grand or something as something like being in Disney, or it could be sitting under your tree in your backyard, and or it can be sitting in your drinking a favorite cup of tea, and you that's reflecting on all the goodness that's in your life. That's reflecting that you have a cup of tea to drink. Just reflecting on the fact that life is didn't turn out the way that your mind told you it was going to turn out. Just reflecting on how amazing your life path have unfolded. Just reflecting on the fact that you know what, you have a bed to sleep on. Something as simple and as moving up the scale. Like attracts like. So one thought attracts another thought. So wanna let's encourage each other to really focus in on imprinting and anchoring positivity, imprinting and anchoring gratitude, seeking to create moments of gratitude. And when opportunities come to feel that gratitude, that you milk it. As I said, like certain things that happened in my life, like I always hear, take the moment, take the time, take the time. And it's something I don't say to other people that I don't experience myself or haven't experienced. I share what I experience and what I am experiencing. So when you have a moment, something shows up and like, okay, how did that happen? We know it didn't happen from our might and our power, but it happened by a divine orchestration. So take that moment and let's really milk it and feel grateful and find something else to feel grateful for. And before you know it, you're like half an hour in and you're feeling grateful and grateful and grateful and grateful. Because you know what? In the law of attraction, like attracts like, and one thought attracts another thought. And then you create this very attractive energy field where good things just want to come in, and it's like a magnet attracting only good. So let's, as we move into like Christmas and we move into the end of the year, let's try to like shift and focus in more on that gratitude factor and in anchoring positivity and anchoring gratefulness and anchoring joy and anchoring peace and lighten up. And instead of like taking yourself out of the moment with a warrior concern of the next 10 minutes or tomorrow or next week or what next year. Some people are already in 2023, you know, come back. You're in 2021. We have some time left. Come back into come back into the moment and just sink yourself into it right now. Allow yourself. I know we have been programmed to think keep thinking forward, 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 forward. But there's magic, there's opportunities, there's ideas, there's innovations right here in this moment. That is where it's at, right here. Coming back to the present moment. So that's the hard work for this session.
Beautiful. I love it. And yes, the present moment. So presently, we move into our feel good tips. Feel good tips for today. I'm going to start off with this one, and it's the importance of just doing it now. I think a lot of things that weigh us down would be when we leave things pending, but just do it and do it now.
Yeah.
Do it while you have the opportunity to, provided that you have the ability, you're feeling well, you're feeling able. What you can do for today, do for today. Don't leave for tomorrow what you could do for today. So do it. Do it.
What you just said, an old granny, like one of my sister's friends back in Trinidad, her grandmother told me that when I was like 16.
Oh, wow.
Because I always sought to find advice from the older folks because,
of course, you have to.
Yeah. And I said to her, I was like, what advice would you give us? Two things she said. She said exactly what you said. What you can do today, do it for today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. And secondly, drink lots of calcium. Milk. She's like, drink it. Like, and I was from her belief system as well, an older woman. She was at a point in time like 80 something, 90, that kind of thing. She have long gone.
And her bones probably were thanking her for the milk from years before.
Yeah, because she was talking about from a very frail perspective, her bones, and she can't stand properly. She's like, strengthen yourself and that's the same thing that we're talking about in terms of well-being,
Yes.
Really focusing, for me personally, 2022 is going to be one of physical well-being as well.
Yes.
We done a great job in the spiritual side, the mental side, the emotional side, but 2022 is definitely going to be more on the physical side as well. So bringing balance across all. So my feel good tip is lighten up, laugh.
So I understand your 2022 goal as well. It's no longer going to be Narda, it's going to be Narda.
Oh yeah. Let's check for that. Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you completely. It's about balance and getting the physical to match the mental and the spiritual, and vice versa, because there's some persons who are fit physically.
Exactly.
They need to do some work on That
The
man in the
spiritual.
mirror. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Addictions doesn't have to just be alcohol and cocaine and stuff. Addictions could be over exercising. It can be
Yes.
watching every single thing you eat with a you're addictive to like that addictions could come whatever you are excessively doing that is not in balance with self is an addiction, so
Right.
just to think about it like that, like I'm not saying that for people to go and label themselves, I'm saying that to say bring
Mhm.
balance. So let's 2022 be one of a year of balance, balancing off ourselves. A lot of people I know need some spiritual work within themselves, need to come into their own life purpose, their power, realizing themselves, healing the past. It's just like you and I, we're more aligned. So that is for us. I can almost speak for you too in 2022. That's what we're gonna be doing together. So
Yes.
yeah, it's just like bring more balance to yourself. Like you may have it all down pack on the physical, but on
Yes.
the mental and emotional, and truth be told, if something shifts in the physical, in the mental or the emotional, or even the spiritual, the physical will crumble. So if
Yeah.
you're building your life on the foundation of the physical being the first
Mhm.
and foremost, and the mental and emotional is cracking and like is falling apart, that your physical is going to be affected. So your
Yes.
best bet is to get yourself in alignment to your spiritual, your
Mhm.
mental and emotional. The physical is going to be a manifestation of all of that. So look under the carpet for 2022. Go underneath there, you clean under the carpet as well, and do some deeper work within yourself so that in 2023 you can say, yes, I feel so much better going into 2023.
Yes.
You'll be
Yes.
grateful that you did that in moving into 2022.
So in 2022, we are going to be more, how should I put it? We will be sexier. We'll be Michelle and Nader.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's hilarious.
but
Yes.
but it's not just about ensuring, you're physically fit. It's
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
Just
All round.
ensuring that
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
best version of yourself showing up
Yeah.
always.
Because we have spent a lot of time on the spiritual side and the emotional and the mental side. Is that let's it's a the world better get ready, right?
Better get ready. Get ready.
So yes.
So we are ready to thank you and wish you a very Merry Christmas
Mm,
as we have this opportunity to give you the Christmas edition of Soul Sessions with Michelle and Narda. I want to remind you, as we're still within those feel good tips, this feeling that you have, especially at this time of year,
mhm.
keep it with you.
Yes.
Some of
Yeah.
the things that you do at this time of year, keep it with you. That spirit of giving,
Yeah.
hold on to that.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to the things, keep giving, but hold on to that feeling of wanting to just give unto others and see smiling faces. Give plenty, give always, and remember, cheerful giver. It's so important that you do that. Give with ease and with
Yes.
confidence, knowing that always your supply is plentiful. We are always in abundance. You just have to challenge your perception sometimes to see it and feel it. But when you think of it, abundant, that's the air that you breathe. Abundant, you have your
Mhm.
sight. Abundant, you have the
Yes.
ability to look at us on screen. That in itself says something. It means you have
Hmm.
an electronic device and there's someone else who does not. But
Right.
just be thankful for all of the things that you do have and know that continuously we are living in abundance. There
Yeah.
is no lack, there is only abundance.
Hmm.
Challenge your perception to be able to see it
Hmm.
and feel it. Merry
Hmm.
Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Mwah.
Mwah! We love you. Thank you so very much.